a lot of these companies really hate modders, and this is the case with Baldur's Gate 3. We've seen a lot of the mod stuff, a lot of the changes. I kind of understand when they push it, even though I don't like it. I like people to be able to mod things how they want, and I think that people should be doing that and having fun with games however they want. But a lot of it is because, like, they don't want a political figure in there or whatever, so they remove that sort of thing. I understand their motivation. The next one is, of course, a lot of the times they make the characters really lewd, and the original artists are like, okay, we don't want that with our game. I totally understand that. But this one was like an innocuous mod, it seems like, and they put a copyright strike up on this game. It's finally back online, and this is apparently the D&D owners mistakenly copyright striking this. So this is what they do. These companies, and this is a problem with mods, is a problem with YouTube and everything. The copyright system, as it is for a lot of this stuff online, it's like strike first, ask questions later. I get this a lot. My channel was actually hit last year for my coverage of Space Marine 2, and my coverage of Space Marine 2, they pretended, like, I guess they thought I was leaking the game or whatever. I'm not, but there was a leak of the game out there, and I was discussing like their reaction to it, which is just based on public Twitter posts, and they tried to copyright my channel, strike my channel anyway. And so they hit that anyway. I was, of course, able to remove it. But this is what these companies do. It's like they just go for it because they're just throwing out those strikes as fast as they can. And the way the system works is really just screwed up, and it's really, really sad. We're going to get into what happened here with Baldur's Gate 3 in just a moment. Please hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things in culture, especially when it comes to D&D and when it comes to fantasy news, my friends. I'm a fantasy author myself, and if you love Dungeons & Dragons, you are in the right place. You have a beautiful book here that I just came out with called The Demon's Eye. It's a sword and sorcery fantasy, and it's got a lot of cool classic feel with D&D that you're going to absolutely love. He fights monsters. He goes out, and he's a strong male lead. Yes, something they don't do anymore. And this is classic fantasy at its finest. Check it out today, guys. We just had our biggest day ever on the channel with our book sales yesterday. And I appreciate you guys being here, all because readers like you are checking out my books. And thank you for supporting these alternatives outside of the mainstream industry. You're going to love this. It's available on Amazon right now, Kindle and paperback. Really appreciate you for being there. And we'll be back soon. Why did I say we will be back soon? It's not over yet. Oh my gosh, I clicked on the wrong article even. I just messed up my spiel. This is why you're supposed to have a pre-recorded spiel, by the way. I don't do pre-recorded spiels. I just talk. I'm an author first, and then I do this. But you are supposed to pre-record your spiel for like your advertisements and like have a really well done one. And maybe I should do that at some point. But I'd rather just talk with you guys naturally and keep it real here. I hope that's okay with you. So here's what we got right here. Dungeons & Dragons company Wizards of the Coast has apologized for mistakenly sending a legal takedown to creator of a free Stardew Valley mod that adds a village inspired by and featuring characters from Baldur's Gate 3. The mod attracted praise from Larian CEO Sven Vikny, who was naturally a bit piqued when it was taken offline. Very sad. So this is an homage to Baldur's Gate 3. It's telling Baldur's Gate, we love it, and we want this. It's a fun thing. This is not hurting anybody. This is fan fiction that's being put into a game, and that's it. Published on Nexus Mods, Baldur's Village mod in question was taken offline and later placed under moderation review. According to a Nexus Mods staff member, a legal firm sent a claim of a copyright infringement on behalf of Wizards of the Coast. This is just really aggressive and really obnoxious. This is anti-fan that's happened here. And so Wizards of the Coast put this out real hard. They just went hard, and they didn't realize what they were doing, and it's sad. This is the type of thing that like really kills fan goodwill. When you're messing with fans, just having fun, and of course, doing honor your game and loving your game, right? And actually loving your characters, it's just really sad. The mod has now been restored following a player backlash. Yeah, people were incensed about this on the internet yesterday. And so go ahead and make Merry Pixel Art Astarion as you please. PC Gamer also have a statement from Wizards who claimed the strike was one big whoopsie. So here it goes. They shot first, asked questions later. The Baldur's Village DMCA takedown was issued mistakenly. We're sorry about that. We are in the process of fixing that now so fans and the Stardew community can continue to enjoy this great mod. It's free advertisement for Baldur's Gate. It really is like the best thing they could possibly have. It's possible this has to do with Vinky's intervention yesterday. Particularly the popular post on the Muscovine. Oh my gosh, they can't even say X. He wrote, "Free quality fan mods highlighting your characters." This is what he said. And in the game are proof your work resonates and a unique form of word of mouth. In my honest opinion, they shouldn't be treated like a commercial ventures that infringe upon your property. This is very awesome. Protecting your IP can be tricky, but I hope this gets settled. There are good ways of dealing with this. And this is the CEO of the Stardew company. Good stuff. And I love that this is pro gamer. He did the work here, Wizards of the Coast. By the way, if he didn't say anything, Wizards of the Coast might have just taken this down. Nobody would have ever said anything. Then nobody would have noticed, and it would have just stayed down. And that's the problem with these copyright strikes and the things work, because this is absolutely foolish of them to do and stupid, and I'm glad it's back up. For context, he said in their fan content policy, they're fine with people making mods based on their games as long as they give them away for free. And that's exactly how it should work. This is how fan fiction and fan content works. Now, people used to be really aggressive about fan fiction back in the 1980s and 90s. Like, people would write Dragon Riders of Pern fan fiction, for example, and authors would be very careful about, like, oh, you better take this down. And it was kind of wild. Now that's pretty standard culture, right? People write a bunch of fan fiction for good or ill. And it's interesting out there. Now, this is what they don't want. They don't want anything inappropriate, offensive, damaging, or disparaging. That makes a lot of sense. Larian, however, not the legal custodians of Dungeons & Dragons, of course. But this makes a sense, and these guys are obviously pro-gamer, and Stardew sounds pretty nice here. Baldur's Village mod is informally set after the Larian RPG's ending, so beware of spoilers if you're planning to install it. Again, it's free. And though the modders do run a Patreon, given enough interest in crowdfunding, they hope to flesh out their chunk of Forgotten Realms with further BG3 callbacks because they're such big fans. Our next big focus will be creating Halsin's romance storyline, an Nexus mod page explains. Once completed, we will shift our attention and expanding the mod, world building, background stories, and gameplay, introducing new features. Pretty neat stuff. I really like what's going on here, and it's pretty interesting. This Stardew Valley right here looks like a pretty cool game. And this is definitely like the type of RPG and stuff that I'm usually into. I love these little sprite text-based RPG sort of things. I'd love my own at some point. That'd be a lot of fun. But we'll talk about this. And there it is, the whole deal. What a cool thing. And I'm glad he defended gamers. I'm glad he defended modders' rights and people who actually care about this game and Baldur's Gate at the same time, because these sort of strikes are just bad for gaming, bad for the community, bad for all the companies that do it. They have to stop doing this kind of thing and just let the fans be the fans. Do you agree? Love to hear from you. Hit the like and subscribe button down below. Of course, join us here as we talk about all things science fiction and fantasy news. And please check out my fantasy book, The Demon's Eye. If you love classic fantasy, if you love that D&D feel, you're going to really enjoy this. Dragonlance fans especially, check it out. It's in the description below, and I appreciate you guys for reading. We'll be back.